Welcome back to another deep dive. Today, we are focusing on a sound that I guarantee every single person listening has heard.
Oh, yeah.
And it usually provokes a very visceral four-letter word reaction. It's that sharp crack when you're doing 100 on the highway and suddenly your view of the world has a spider web in it.
It's just the sound of your day getting ruined. Instantly.
Exactly. And, usually the panic sets in immediately. Can I still see? Is it going to spread? And the big one, how much money did that flying rock just cost me?
It's interesting because we treat the windshield as this, invisible thing. You literally look through it, not at it. But when it breaks, it suddenly becomes the most visible, expensive problem in your life.
So today, we are answering that specific financial question. If you are living in or driving through Strathroy, Ontario, maybe you're commuting on the 402, maybe you're on those country roads and that rock hits your glass, what is the actual damage to your wallet?
And to get the real numbers, we aren't just guessing. We're digging into a very comprehensive breakdown from QuickChip Auto Class. Specifically, we're relying on data published by Matt Lubbs in January 2026.
Right.
And what I like about this source is that it moves past the "it depends" answer, which is so annoying, and it gives us hard data.
But we're going to do more than just read a price list. I mean, the mission today is to take you from being an annoyed driver staring at a crack to a fully informed consumer.
Right.
We need to explain why a piece of glass might cost as much as a laptop, the hidden technology you don't know is there, and honestly, the chemistry involved.
The chemistry is surprisingly the most critical part of the safety equation. It really is.
We'll get there. But let's rip the Band-Aid off. I want the numbers up front. According to Matt Lubbs and the team at QuickChip, if I'm in Strathroy and I need a replacement, what's the damage?
Okay, if you want the broad stroke, the data says you are looking at a range between, say, $300 and $800.
$300 to $800. Okay. I have to push back on that immediately. That is a $500 spread.
It's huge.
If I asked a contractor how much to fix my roof, and he said somewhere between $3,000 and $8,000, I'd tell him to get a calculator. Why is the gap that wide?
It feels huge, I agree.
Yeah.
But you have to contextualize it. I mean, a car isn't a single category anymore, right? That price range has to cover everything from, a 2008 Honda Civic that is basically a go-kart with a roof to a 2026 luxury SUV that can practically drive itself.
So the windshield reflects the complexity of the car.
Perfectly. And actually, the source gives us a sweet spot to help narrow this down. For the vast majority of drivers, if you're in a Toyota Corolla, a standard Ford F-150, your daily commuters, you aren't hitting that $800 mark.
Yeah.
You are likely sitting safely in the $400 to $600 range.
Okay, $400 to $600 feels manageable. Not fun, but manageable. But that implies that if I'm paying $800 or maybe even more, I'm driving something special.
Or something complicated. And this is the first deep insight we need to pull from the source. The price tag isn't about the size of the glass. A massive truck windshield might be cheaper than a small luxury sedan windshield.
So what is it then?
The primary cost drivers are year, make, and model.
Because of the tech.
Because of the evolution of the vehicle. I mean, think about a car from 20 years ago. The windshield was just a wind blocker. It kept bugs out of your teeth.
Sure.
Today, the windshield is a digital lens.
I love that phrase, digital lens. Break that down. What am I paying for that I can't see?
This is where we get into the acronym that explains the price hike. ADS, Advanced Driver Assistance Systems.
Right, the stuff that beeps at me when I change lanes without signaling.
That's the one. Lane departure warning, forward collision alert, adaptive cruise control. In almost all modern vehicles, the eyes for these systems are cameras mounted directly against the inside of the windshield.
Usually right behind the rearview mirror.
Exactly, so they're looking through the glass. And this is why you can't just go to a scrapyard and glue on a piece of glass you found. The optical clarity has to be perfect. If there's even a microscopic distortion in the glass where that camera looks through, the car's computer gets bad data.
And bad data means my car thinks the lane is 3 feet to the left, and I end up in the ditch.
Or it slams on the brakes for a phantom obstacle. So when you pay that higher price, you aren't just buying the glass. You are paying for calibration.
I feel like calibration is one of those words mechanics use to add an extra hour of labor to the bill. Is it actually necessary?
In this case, it's non-negotiable. The source from QuickChip is very clear on this. When you replace the glass, you have moved the camera's lens, even by a millimeter. The computer needs to be retaught where the road is.
How do they do that? Do they just drive it around the block?
It depends on the car. And this is where the cost variance comes in. Some cars require dynamic calibration, where the technician has to drive the vehicle at a set speed on a marked road, like the 402, plugged into a handheld computer to relearn the parameters.
That sounds time-consuming.
It is. But others require static calibration. And this is even more intense. They have to set the car up in a controlled shop environment on a perfectly level floor and set up laser-aligned target boards at very specific distances.
Wow.
It's like setting up a surveyor's equipment just to tell the car where forward is.
Okay, so when I see an $800 bill, I'm paying for the technician's expertise and that specialized equipment, not just the raw material.
Exactly. You're paying for the assurance that your safety systems will actually work. But it's not just ADAS. There's other embedded tech that drives the price up.
Like what?
Rain sensors are a big one. You know when your wipers just know it's raining?
Yeah.
That's a sensor bonded to the glass. Heated wiper parks those little orange lines at the bottom of the glass to melt ice. That's copper wiring embedded inside the laminate.
I've heard of acoustic glass, too. Is that a real thing or just marketing fluff?
Oh, it's very real.
Yeah.
And very expensive. Standard windshields are 2 layers of glass with a layer of vinyl in between. Acoustic glass uses a special, thicker, sound-dampening vinyl layer.
So it cuts down wind noise.
Wind and road noise, significantly. So if your car is whisper quiet on the highway, you should prepare your wallet for a beating if a rock hits it.
You're paying for the silence.
Pretty much.
There was one more variable the source mentioned regarding price that I didn't expect. It wasn't about the glass at all. It was about the condition of the car's frame.
Right. This is the hidden rot factor. When the technician pulls the old broken glass off, they are exposing the metal pinch weld of the car. If the previous replacement was done poorly...
Like someone scratched the paint.
Exactly, and they didn't prime it, you might find rust.
And you can't glue glass to rust.
You can, but it won't hold. And we'll talk about why that holding power is life or death in a minute. But if they find rust, they have to grind it down, treat it, and prime it before they can install the new glass. That's extra labor and materials.
So if you're driving an older beater in Strathroy, where we use plenty of road salt, that rust risk is probably higher.
Significantly higher. It's the Southern Ontario reality. Salt eats everything.
Okay, let's pivot to the installation itself. I think most people, myself included, think of this like a pick stop. Pop the old one out, slap the new one in, I'm back on the road in 20 minutes.
That mindset is dangerous.
Okay, that's ominous. Why?
The source outlines the timeline. The actual physical work, the muscle part, takes about 60 to 90 minutes. That's reasonable. But the critical part is the SDA.
SDAT.
Safe driveway time. And this brings us to the chemistry. The glue they use isn't just super glue. It's a high-grade automotive urethane.
Okay.
And urethane doesn't dry like paint. It cures. It undergoes a chemical reaction to cross-link and becomes structural solid.
And that takes time.
It does. The source notes that while you can drive away after about 1 hour in many cases, the optimal cure time is 4 to 6 hours.
Wait. So if I rush the technician and drive away after 30 minutes, what happens?
Ideally nothing, right? If you're lucky, nothing. But imagine you drive away and you hit a pothole on a country road. Or you just slam your car door really hard. The air pressure spike inside the cabin pushes out against the windshield.
Oh.
If that urethane is still gooey, you just broke the seal.
So now I have a water leak. Annoying, but not the end of the world.
Best case, you have a leak or a wind whistle. Worst case, you get into a head-on collision.
And the glass flies out.
We need to talk about the passenger airbag.
Yeah.
This is a detail that floored me. When the passenger airbag deploys, it comes out of the dashboard at about 200 miles per hour. It doesn't just hit the passenger's face.
No.
It is designed to shoot up, bounce off the windshield, and then cushion the passenger.
It uses the windshield as a backboard.
Exactly, like a basketball bank shot. If that windshield isn't firmly bonded because you rushed the cure time, the force of the airbag will blow the windshield right off the car.
And then the airbag just deploys out the window and the passenger hits the dashboard.
Correct. The windshield is part of the restraint system. It is just as important as your seatbelt.
That terrified me. I will never rush a glass technician again.
Good. That's the goal.
But this brings up a logistical problem. If I need to wait hours for this glue to cure and I'm in Strathroy and it's January, we have to talk about the weather.
The Strathroy variable, yeah. The source was really interesting on this. We assume cold is the enemy, right?
Yeah, I mean, nothing works in the cold. Batteries die, plastic cracks.
And it's true for urethane, too. Cold slows down the chemical reaction. If it's -10, that cure time gets longer. But the surprise factor is humidity.
Usually humidity ruins painting or gluing everything.
Not here. These specific urethanes are moisture cured. They actually pull water molecules out of the air to trigger the hardening process.
So a disgusting, muggy, humid July day in southern Ontario is actually good.
It's perfect windshield weather. High heat and high humidity make that bond set incredibly fast.
That is wild. So the technician has to be a bit of a meteorologist.
They do. Matt Lubb's article mentions that professional installers adjust their timeline based on the daily weather. They might use a different primer or accelerator, or just tell you, hey, it's dry and cold today, you need to leave the car an extra hour.
Which brings us to the how. How do I get this done? If I'm at work or at home, the source talks about mobile service.
This is the convenience king. In Strathroy, the trend is moving heavily toward them coming to you.
Which sounds great. I can sit on my couch while they fix the car in the driveway.
With a caveat. Remember the weather.
Right?
You can't bond glass in the rain or snow. Moisture in the air helps cure after it's applied, but water on the metal prevents the glue from sticking in the first place.
So if I don't have a garage and it's raining, I'm out of luck for mobile service.
You're likely rescheduling, or you have to bring it into the shop. The source mentions that while they bring all the tools to your driveway, they can't control the sky. So if you have a carport or a garage, you're golden. If not, check the forecast.
And speaking of logistics, Quick Chip serves Strathroy from London. Why does that matter to the consumer?
Inventory. If you're going to a tiny local shop, they might have to order glass from a warehouse 3 days away.
Right.
A provider with a regional hub in London likely has your windshield sitting on a rack 20 minutes down the road. It means same day or next day service is actually realistic.
I want to circle back to the why bother crowd. I know you're out there. You have a crack. It's low on the glass. You can see over it. You think, I'll save the $500. I'll fix it later.
The procrastinators.
Besides the fact that it looks terrible, convince me why I shouldn't wait.
Well, let's start with the law. In Ontario, if a police officer decides the crack obstructs your view or makes the vehicle unsafe, that's a ticket. So you're paying money anyway. Might as well spend it on the repair, not the fine.
Okay, but what if I'm willing to risk the ticket?
Then you're risking the roof collapsing on your head.
Okay, that escalated quickly. Explain that.
We talked about the airbag. But the windshield also provides up to 45% of the structural strength of the vehicle's cabin in a rollover accident.
Wait, the glass holds the roof up?
It does. I mean, modern pillars are strong, but the glass provides the rigidity that ties them together. If the glass is cracked, its structural integrity is compromised.
So if you flip the car.
If you flip that car, the glass shatters instantly, and the roof is far more likely to crush inward into the passenger space.
So the windshield is basically a transparent structural beam.
That is the absolute best way to think about it. Driving with a cracked windshield is like driving with a cracked frame. It might be fine for normal driving, but the second you have an accident, all your safety margins are gone.
And there's the issue of the crack spreading, right? We talked about weather.
Oh, absolutely. Ontario has wild temperature swings. You blast your defroster on a freezing morning, that's thermal shock. The glass expands unevenly. A $50 chip repair can turn into a massive crack across your line of sight in seconds.
So waiting is actually the most expensive option. You skip the cheap repair and end up needing the full expensive replacement.
100%.
Let's tackle one last anxiety. Parts. I hear this all the time. If I don't go to the dealership, they're going to put in cheap, wavy glass. What does the source say about OEM versus aftermarket?
This is the biggest myth in the industry. The source confirms that reputable installers like Quick Chip use glass that meets OEM specifications.
OEM, meaning original equipment manufacturer.
Right. So it's made to the same recipe,
Yeah.
often in the same factory. There are only a handful of major glass manufacturers in the world, companies like Pilkington or PGW. They make the glass for Ford, and they make the glass for the aftermarket.
It's the same stuff.
It's the same safety rating, the same thickness, the same clarity. As long as you're going to a certified shop, you're getting real glass. They have to meet Canadian motor vehicle safety standards. This isn't the Wild West.
Okay, final money question. We said $300 to $800. But do I personally have to swipe my card for that?
This is the ray of hope. Insurance.
I always get confused here. Does this count as an accident? Will my rates go up?
Usually no. Windshield replacement falls under comprehensive coverage, not collision. It's considered a no-fault incident. A rock flying off a truck isn't your fault.
And the deductible.
That's the catch. You have to check your policy. If you have a $500 deductible and the repair is $400, well, you're paying it.
Right.
But many policies have a specific glass rider with a reduced deductible, sometimes $50 or even $0.
So it could be free.
It could be $0 out of pocket. The source strongly advises calling your provider or asking the glass shop to check for you. Quick Chip, for example, deals with insurance companies directly so you don't have to wade through the paperwork.
That is a huge relief. Okay, we have covered a massive amount of ground. We've gone from price tags to molecular chemistry. Let's distill this for the listener. What are the three big takeaways?
Takeaway number one, know your budget, but know why. If you have a standard car, expect $400 to $600. If you have ADAS and sensors, expect to pay more for that crucial calibration.
Takeaway 2.
Respect the cure time. Do not rush the technician. That glue is keeping your airbag working and your roof intact. Give it the time it needs, especially in the winter.
And number 3.
Don't ignore the chip. In Strathroy's climate, a chip today is a cracked windshield tomorrow. Fixing it early saves you hundreds of dollars and keeps the structural integrity of your car safe.
I think my biggest takeaway is just a newfound respect for that transparent sheet.
It's an impressive piece of engineering, isn't it?
It really is. It's a heat shield, a sound damper, a structural beam, and a camera lens. Not bad for something we try to look right through.
It's the unsung hero of the car.
So here is a thought to leave you with today. Next time you get into your car, before you put it in drive, take 2 seconds. Look at the glass.
Really look at it.
See those little sensors by the mirror?
Yeah.
Notice the little orange wires for the heater. Remind yourself that you are sitting inside a safety cage and that glass is one of the bars holding it together. Is saving a few bucks or rushing a repair really worth compromising the skeleton of your car?
When you put it that way, the answer is pretty obvious.
I think so too. Drive safe, watch out for those rocks on the 402, and thanks for listening to The Deep Dive.
Safe travels.